Alright, quick question. What's the one sound in school that instantly makes everyone groan, check their phones, and shuffle outside like zombies? If you said the fire alarm, congratulations, you've been to school before. But here's the thing. Fire drills are supposed to be boring, right? Stand outside for 10 minutes, complain about the cold, maybe flirt with your crush, then head back inside. Wrong. Because for some people, that annoying bell wasn't just an interruption. It was the beginning of an absolute nightmare. Today, we're diving into 3 true fire drill horror stories that'll make you realize the scariest thing in school isn't your math test. It's what happens when everyone else leaves the building and you don't. So buckle up, because these stories are about to make every fire drill feel like a scene from a horror movie. Story number 1. The basement bathroom. Let's start with story number 1. And fair warning, this one gets dark real fast. Picture this. You're 14, 8th grade, sitting in math class trying to pretend you understand geometry. Nature calls. You grab that ancient wooden bathroom pass. You know, the one that's been touched by approximately 10,000 unwashed middle school hands, and you head out. But plot twist, the main bathroom is out of order. Classic school move. So you've got options, upstairs or downstairs. Now here's where things get weird. A random older guy walks up, and before your stranger danger alarm can even start ringing, he's asking you where the bathroom is with a smile, because apparently this grown man doesn't know his way around the middle school. Red flag number 1, people. But our storyteller, being a helpful human, points him to the stairs and then smartly goes the opposite direction. Smart move, right? Wrong. Because this is where the universe decides to play the cruelest prank ever. They head down to the basement bathroom, the one literally nobody uses, because it's basically a dungeon with toilets. Lights are off, it's creepy, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. They get settled in a stall, and then BRRRRING, fire alarm. Now, most people would be annoyed, but our storyteller, they're panicking, because now they're stuck in a choice. Do I finish and risk getting in trouble, or do I leave mid-business? They decide to stay, figuring they'll just ride it out. The flashing lights are annoying, the alarm is piercing, but whatever, right? Wrong again. Because suddenly, the bathroom door opens during the fire drill. Footsteps march straight to their stall. At first, they think it's a teacher doing a sweep, but the person doesn't say anything, just stands there, facing the door, and then, oh God, they see it through that horrible 1-inch crack that exists in every bathroom stall. A man's eye, wide open, pressed against the crack, just staring, and then he laughs. If your skin isn't crawling right now, check your pulse, because you might be a robot. But it gets worse. This psycho gets on his knees and starts crawling under the stall door. And it's the same guy from the hallway. He literally used the fire drill as his hunting opportunity, grabbed them, covered their mouth, and started saying things like, "Don't struggle, just relax." I cannot stress this enough. This is real. This actually happened. But here's where our hero enters, the principal. This elderly principal had seen the man pull the fire alarm and run downstairs, so he followed. He opens the bathroom door, hears the muffled scream, rushes to the stall, and the attacker bolts. The principal was too old to chase him, and because the school had no cameras, this creep got away. But the principal saved that kid's life, literally hugged them, called their parents, and became their hero. The storyteller mentions he passed away 5 years ago, and honestly, that principal deserves a statue because he turned what could have been the worst day of this kid's life into just a traumatic memory instead of a tragedy. Okay, I need you to take a breath with me because that was heavy. But don't relax too much, because story number 2 proves that sometimes the scariest things aren't inside the school. They're waiting for you when you try to escape it. Story number 2, the woods behind school. All right, let's lighten the mood. Just kidding, we're making it worse. Story number 2 takes us to high school, where fire drills are basically mini vacations. You get to skip class, hang outside, gossip. It's great. So when our storyteller and their friends hear through the grapevine that there's gonna be a drill during third period on a Friday, they hatch a plan. A stupid plan, but a plan nonetheless. Sneak away during the drill, head to the sump behind school, by the woods, and smoke. The sump, by the way, is exactly what it sounds like. A giant hole in the ground where kids go to do questionable things. It's got bushes, trees, and apparently a nickname nobody remembers. Peak high school energy. So the alarm goes off. They bolt out the back entrance, slip through the tennis courts, and make it to the sump like they're in some kind of heist movie. The weather, dark, cloudy, storm brewing. Perfect horror movie ambience. They wait for everyone to go back inside, then they start celebrating their genius escape. But then, our storyteller sees something. A face in the woods, just peeking through the shrubs. They look away for 1 second to get their friend's attention. Look back, and it's gone. Their friends think they're paranoid, but they're 70% sure it was a person. Now here's where the bad decisions really accelerate. They smoke. Our storyteller gets increasingly paranoid, relatable, and their friends decide, hey, let's walk deeper into the woods to that old abandoned shack, because apparently nobody in this group has seen a horror movie. The storyteller keeps hearing footsteps that aren't theirs. Then a stick snaps behind them, loud. Their friends don't hear it. Classic gaslighting by nature move. They're basically becoming the person in the horror movie that everyone in the audience is screaming at to turn around. They reach the shack, old, creepy, door wedged open. They go inside like absolute fools and immediately smell something nasty. Then they hear it, something squishy hitting the floor, a footstep, and in the corner, lit only by the weak light from the window, is the shadow of a really tall person. They don't scream, credit where credit's due. They keep their cool and walk out calmly. But then they look back at the window, and at that exact moment, lightning strikes, and what they see is nightmare fuel. A man with a seriously deformed face pressed against the glass, half his face drooping, one eye not even visible. Our storyteller clarifies they're not trying to be mean about deformities, but this dude looked barely human. They run back to the sump, and guess what? That face they saw earlier, it's back, closer this time, behind a shrub. Different person than the shack guy. There are two of them. They sprint back to school, hide by the entrance, and make a pact. Never speak of this, never go back, pretend it didn't happen. And honestly, sometimes denial is the healthiest coping mechanism. Now, If stories 1 and 2 taught us anything, it's that fire drills bring out the weirdos. But at least those were near exits, right? What could possibly go wrong if you explore the creepy locked areas of your school during a drill? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Story number 3. The Forbidden Hallway. Story number 3 is for everyone who's ever seen that one door in school that's always locked and thought, I wonder what's down there. Spoiler alert, you don't want to know. Our storytellers, let's call them the dynamic duo of bad decisions, notice this door that only opens during fire drills. It leads down a half stairway to a dark hallway, and literally nobody knows what's down there. So naturally, these two geniuses decide they need to find out. They're in study hall when the drill happens. Perfect. They run to a bathroom, hide in a stall until everyone's outside, then make their move. Down the stairs they go. Dim lighting, creepy vibes, everything you'd expect. They find another stairway, this time in complete darkness. Phone flashlights, activate. Then they find it, a door with a "Do not enter" sign. And what do? If you guessed enter, you're correct. This door is heavy, scraping on the floor like it's fallen off its hinges, but they get it open to reveal a tiny square room, maybe 100 square feet. But it's not silent. There are clicking sounds, metallic dinging, coming from a vent in the corner. They think maybe it's an animal, so they get closer, and the sounds change to grunting and groaning. One of them, the braver and/or dumber one, puts their phone screen up to the vent to look inside, then presses their ear against it. Why? Why would you do that? Because of course something grabs their ear. A hand reaches through the vent and grabs them. Their friend has to pull the hand off. They see this hand reaching through the vent, and they absolutely book it out of there. The next day, they talk to Tom the janitor, shout out to Tom for being chill, and ask if anyone works in that vent. Tom says nobody's been in that room for years, and there's no way into that vent from anywhere. So, WHO or what was down there? What was that hand attached to? Why was it in the vent? We don't know. And honestly, that might be even scarier than knowing. So there you have it, folks. 3 true stories that prove fire drills aren't just annoying interruptions. Sometimes they're invitations for absolute chaos. Whether it's a predator using the alarm as cover, mysterious figures lurking in the woods, or something living in your school's forbidden zones, these stories prove that the real danger isn't the fire. It's what happens when everyone else is gone. Now here's my question for you. Have you ever experienced something creepy during a fire drill? Or found something in your school that you probably shouldn't have? Drop your stories in the comments below, because I need to hear them. And if this video gave you chills, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss when we drop more nightmare fuel. Stay safe out there, friends. And next time that fire alarm goes off, maybe don't wander into dark bathrooms, abandoned woods, or forbidden hallways. Just a thought. I'll catch you in the next one.